scan this QR code here. Chime in and tell me if you can tell me what that QR code says in our comment section. You might get you out of the way here. Scan this QR code here, add to the comment section. You can tell me what that says on this QR code, the message on this QR code, and we might see if we can work on getting you some Bets and Buds free merch. Friends, countrymen, fellow degenerates, welcome back to this edition of Bets and Buds. We're the Buds helping you cash your bets. I am Jason Smoking Token.
I'm Bobby Like.
Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. We don't have a lot of betting action going on right now because we got some sports that I don't have a lot of faith in or me putting any money out in my pocketbook. You know what I'm saying, brother? So, but we are going to go
unless you're like a hockey fan, basketball fan.
Right, especially if our own personal teams are kind of knocked out. You know, the juice isn't worth the squeeze for me right now this time of the year. But we're going to cover the sports because they are exciting. We're in the playoff action. We're in the throes of the NBA championships, and also the NHL championships are going and rolling along here. So we're going to see what's happening here and keep you guys up to date on the world of sports because it's a beautiful time. Summertime is right around the corner. We got 2 weeks away from Memorial Day weekend.
Nope.
Bobby Light's got a birthday coming up.
Yeah, I got a birthday this weekend.
He's got a birthday coming up this weekend. Happy birthday, brother.
I'm officially into old man territory.
You know what? We've been there for a while, brother. You ask any one of them 20-somethings, they see them grays, they're like, you old son of a bitch.
It's there. All right, so let's talk about some Cardinals to start this one off.
Yes, the Cardinals have been hot, 9-1 in their last 10 games.
Yes.
Broke an 8-game winning streak, tied for the first in the majors so far this season. And in the first game of the doubleheader.
Yeah, and that was what they lost 3-2.
2-1.
2-1.
2-1. Yeah, it was a pitcher's duel.
Yeah, so it's not like they got blown out.
Then that second game
but
was just...
they came back and blew the Phillies
out.
out.
My gosh, that was talk about betting. That hit the over definitely on points. We'll say like 14-7, 14-8.
Yeah, 14-7.
14-7 for the final on that one.
Yeah, I mean, Sonny Gray went 3 1/3. Yeah. Gave up 7 runs. Like, it was...
Then Matz came in shortly after that. I think he gave up about 4 runs.
It was ugly. It was ugly.
Yeah, but they came storming back.
They did.
So they're 24-20 right now. They're 1 game back of the Cubs in first place for first place in the division. So, I mean, that's what we got to get here.
I mean, if you would have told me that 2 weeks ago.
Oh, it'd be like you're out of your mind.
You're crazy.
But that's the beauty of sports, brother. It so quickly can be turned around, just like we saw during the Blues season.
Well, they did make some bullpen adjustments, by sending Fernandez out and bringing up, the kid just closed the game down last night, and I'm forgetting his name. But they definitely changed up the bullpen lately and the roles that are people you just gotta throw it in.
And that's the part why like they always tell you that you really don't know what type of baseball team you have until you get to Memorial Weekend, because you got to get about 50 games in before you can really truly see
at 44 right now.
Exactly.
Almost to the third way of the season.
Yep.
Almost the third way.
So we got Donovan leading the team in batting average at 313. He's leading at 313. We got Newt Barnes leading the team with 7 home runs. We got Contreras is leading the team with 25 RBIs. Victor Scott's leading the team with 13 stolen bases. And then Newt Bar with 28 runs.
Okay, so I'm glad you brought up that stat because I was looking at Newt Bar's stats. His on-base percentage has really come down lately. Yeah. Down to 373. It's still a good on-base percentage.
It's still a good on-base
percentage.
But
he was over 400 for... the first 30-something games.
That's that early season baseball.
But, so combined, he has 43 hits and 31 walks after the other night's game. But he has only scored 28 runs.
Yes, his runs are definitely down there. They're not up there because, like I said, with 28 runs, he still leads the team with 28 runs.
He does.
So because of how much he gets
being on base, he's scoring about a third of the time.
Right.
And I think it should be a little higher. I'd like to see 40%.
Some of that's a byproduct of where he bats in the order, too, I think,
it
at
is
times,
true.
too,
I mean,
well.
he can hit lead off, or they'll drop him down into the cleanup position sometimes.
Right.
Like, they'll put him all over the place.
He's a versatile bat to where they move him all over the place. So pitching-wise, we got Liberatore, who's a surprise, who I've never been a big fan of, but hopefully I think he's kind of turning the corner, man.
He is turning the corner.
He's got a 3.11 ERA, leading the team with ERA. Sonny Gray is leading with 51 strikeouts and 4 wins, and then Helsley has 10 saves on the season. So, I mean, they're coming together as a ball club.
He's really just not getting the usage now. Because when the Cardinals are winning these games, they're
runaways.
They're
so
blowouts or runaways, and then they brought him in a loss the other night because he hadn't pitched.
Right, because he hadn't pitched in so many days. And there were several, because the starting pitching was so good, because it was Eric Fetty got his first complete game. And so, I mean, they had a lot of starting pitching that had been going deep in the game, so there's a lot of people in the bullpen weren't getting the usage that we're used to getting.
That's the crazy thing about Eric Fetty's complete. It was only the third one in the major leagues so far this year. And
it's crazy.
You remember back even in the 80s.
It was nothing. A complete game.
10, 11, 12 would be the league.
That was a badge of honor to get complete games. I mean, but now, like like with all the analytics and the Tommy John surgeries and all that stuff that teams are trying to avoid. They protect guys' arms and they try and keep them out of trouble. I mean, we had guys. There was a guy a couple weeks ago that had a perfect game going and got pulled out of the game.
Yeah.
In the 6th inning. I mean, so it's like that's where we are in this day and age of analytics.
Yeah, you might never see a perfect game again.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tough. I mean, you'll see it probably, I'm sure, at some point, but it's going to be definitely few and far in between.
Kids growing up like now, I mean, they just don't. They really can never understand how starting pitching used to be.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got like guys like Greg Maddux who never even.
And it was different even for us compared to how it was even the 50, 60, 70. Them guys would throw 300 innings. Oh well, no problem.
Bob Gibson's is the reason why they lowered the mound.
Right.
I mean, you got guys like that. I mean, because they want to see offense. At the end of the day, every sport is trying to inject offense into the game. So. True. All right, so the Cardinals are going on. I think, who do they have tonight? Are they
off tonight? They start a series with the Royals this weekend.
Okay, all right. So, gotta love that I-70 series.
Yep, going to Kansas City.
Gotta love that I-70
series.
So
that's the other thing too. I mean, they find that they're 9-13 now on the road. Right. So if they can, keep that road.
Yeah, pick that road.
And get over 500, maybe 5 games above 500 for the season, over the 81 games.
Oh, yeah.
This could be a playoff team.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like I said, one game back of the Cubs.
I'm surprised.
Oh, yeah. Me too, brother. Me too. But you know what? I like the way I've seen them played up the course of this season. So,
they have. And Contreras, I mean, you can't say enough about what he's done at first base.
Yeah, Contreras has been amazing at fielding at first base, and then that bat is coming up. That's basically what we signed up for. Yep. It was a bat. All right. So let's go into the NHL world here now, brother.
So Edmonton was the first one to clinch a series to go on to the Western Conference Finals, and Stuart Skinner, I was just making fun of him a little bit last night, but he's thrown up 2 shutouts in a row now. Blanked them in game 4 and blanked them in game 5. 3-0, 1-0.
Yeah.
And Edmonton's dangerous.
They are, man.
Any kind of goaltending.
That's all they've been needing was goaltending.
Because
I mean, right now their lines are running 3-4 deep. I mean, like as far as
Evander Kane has stepped his game up.
Oh yeah.
Because he's always been known as a malcontent in the locker room.
Well, and he has to pay off some of those gambling debts. I think he's still dealing with the backlash that happened a few years back.
Probably. But yeah, he had a clutch game the other night. Edmonton is probably going to end up facing the Stars. Yeah. They are just outclassing Winnipeg right now.
Yeah, man. Winnipeg just seems overmatched. Hellebuck, I mean, he's going to win the Vezina for the best goalie.
Yep,
possibly up for the Hart Trophy for the MVP that he's going up for. But yeah, I mean, right now he's kind of his MO has always been, can he hold up in the playoffs? And he's seen to show that he can't do it.
Well, the other thing, Ottinger on the other side of the crease, he is lights out.
Ottinger's been guys.
That's what's going to carry Dallas in the series. Plus, they're getting Heiskanen back.
Yeah.
So
and Ratnan's just gone crazy. Yep, I mean, he was traded twice this year, which is wild. I mean, he was traded twice. So he got traded from Colorado to Carolina, then from Carolina, wasn't it Carolina?
Yeah, Carolina.
And then Carolina
we don't need him.
Yeah, so. Carolina. Well, I think they were both teams were worried about not being able to sign him next year.
He probably would not have signed him. Carolina plays a very specific kind of hockey.
Yeah, and so I think both teams were worried about not being able to sign him and seeing what they can get for him. But I mean, he's showing, man. I mean, what is it? 16 points?
He's got 9 goals and 7 assists right now.
Yeah, was it 16 points in the last 7 games or something
crazy.
like that? It's insane.
He's lighting it up.
He's going nuts. He's going absolutely nuts.
So yeah, that's the West. So out in the East, after Toronto took that 2-0 lead and going down to Florida, they do not even look like a hockey team right now. Mm-hmm. Got blown out the other night, 6-1. But Wolves is they're. Well, they kind of split this year, but Toronto lost their goaltender when he got hit in the head with that elbow. Did you see that
I didn't see that. No,
I missed that. So, yeah, he's been out with concussion symptoms, and he's probably not going to be back for the next game either. Yeah. So, Toronto's going to have to bring it, but they're going back to Florida. So
yeah, that's going to be tough, man. That's going to be absolutely tough. I mean, you got Brad Marchand playing on Florida's third line. I mean, that's going to be
no, that's dangerous.
That's a problem. That is an absolute problem. So.
And then over in the other series, it's Carolina versus Washington, and Carolina's up 3-1 in that series. They just play shutdown, good shutdown hockey.
And you know it's weird because unless you follow hockey really closely, if you had told me when I kept hearing how heavily favored Carolina was over the Capitals, I'm like, what? How is that possible? But
They're just from top to bottom. They're just a steady team.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're showing. I mean, like from the couple games that I've watched, or I would say more a couple of clips. I've watched a couple periods intermittently here and there. They look like they just got them outmatched.
They do.
Yeah,
they
just got them outmatched.
So you're probably looking at Carolina versus Florida over in the East, and then obviously in the West you got Edmonton waiting on the winner of that Dallas-Winnipeg series, but I expect Dallas to win that.
Yeah, I would think so, but you never know what happens if you get to a Game 7.
No, because 2 years running there's been a team come back from the 3-1 deficit.
Oh, yeah.
So in back-to-back playoffs.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, once you get into a Game 7, it's anybody's game at that point.
It is possible, so...
All right, so we're going to move on to the association here. So the NBA playoff action has been heating up here. So we got the Pacers have been the first ones to clinch. They knocked out the number 1 seed. They're looking very impressive, man. They look very impressive. So the Pacers are moving on. Tyrese Halliburton has been amazing. After being voted the most overrated player in the NBA, he's showing everybody overrate these motherfuckers, So, good on him. And the Pacers were moving along. And they got a good ball club. They got Miles Turner, Pedro Siakam. They got T.J. McConnell. They play a very good team basketball game. They're very deep. Rick Carlisle's a great coach. He won a lot of games with Dallas Mavericks when he was down there with them. And then they got a lot going on in their favor. And they're looking to play against the Knicks versus the Celtics. So as Celtics,
it looks like I'm gonna get the matchup I wanted.
Yeah, I mean, everybody pretty much had the Celtics going on. Like there's a clear favorite. Everybody knows now. There's no surprise that Jason Tatum tore his Achilles tendon. So he's out for the rest of the playoffs and probably all of next season, unfortunately. St. Louis boy here. Get well, brother. Get well, because, I mean, nobody wants to see that happen.
I don't wish that on even my least favorite team.
No, because, I mean, that's a 2-year recovery at least most of the time when you tend to, especially a sport like basketball when there's so much running and jumping and explosion and all that.
Look, when I seen the play initially, I thought he had broken his ankle.
Yeah, the way he went down, I figured it was the Achilles. I mean, just like that. That's what it looks like when you snapped the Achilles. When you go, because there was no contact, there was no. He tried to make a lateral move, and it wasn't even an explosive lateral move. And when it went down, he was just done. So you got but the Knicks were able to actually. The Celtics were actually able to pull out a victory.
They pulled that game out.
Yeah, they were actually able to pull out
by what, 21?
Pretty handily. Yeah, because everybody's calling out Jaylen Brown. They're like, all right, dude, you got a $300 million contract too, dude. You better come on and get this shit together. You got a deep team. Let's go, boys, and get it together.
But they'll be going back to the Garden now.
Yeah, they're going back to the Garden. But again, get to a game set. You get to a Game 7. You just never know what can happen. But I mean, Big Body Brunson's been doing his work. I mean, he's been still putting it in. Jason Hart, Mikal Bridges. They've all been playing great team basketball. Right. So let's see how the Celtics, what they come with in the Garden for Game 6. Let's see if they can avoid elimination there. Otherwise, they're going to get bounced home, and then might see some changes to that team after that happens. So,
I think you probably would.
I mean, you're going to probably see some changes anyway, but I mean,
just because the fact you're not going to have Tatum next year, you're going to have to reshape that roster.
Well, not only that, I mean, so you got Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and pretty much two $300 million players, max contract players. So some adjustments are going to have to be made there anyway. And then the next one was the Thunder and the Nuggets is who we have tonight. Thunder and Nuggets are going up. They're three. The Thunder are up. I mean, 3-2. 3-2. Where they wanted a great. So Joker had a great game last game.
He did.
Him and SGA both kind of played kind of. I mean, they were kind of having kind of below par at games for themselves of what they've had through the course of the season.
Yeah, because Joker only had 28.
Yeah, but in this last game he had 40, 20, and 5.
Oh,
yeah, he was 40, 25 this last game. But SGA closed it out. He had some tough finishes at the end of that game to help the Thunder pull away with it because the Nuggets had a pretty handy lead going in the fourth quarter. So, that's going to be a tough series. It's a must-do-or-die win for the Nuggets tonight.
Yeah, they're at home, so they got that going for them.
Yes, which I'd love to see a Game 7 in that series. Because, I mean, just to see a Game 7 between these two teams would be an awesome, awesome experience. And, of course, Golden State got wrapped up last night. No Steph Curry, which kind of sucked. That really ruined that series with him going out into Game 1 because it would have probably been a lot more of an exciting series, and we could have seen go 6 or 7 games. But you got Anthony Edwards is just a monster.
He is.
And then him and Julius Randle are a great pair together. I mean, they're just a tough combination to stop. So they're going to be in the Western Conference Finals. So look for that winner between the Thunder and the Nuggets.
So 2 years in a row for the Timberwolves in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, 2 years in a row. Last year they got knocked off by Luka and Kyrie Irving and the Mavericks. So
we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, he's hungry though. That's the one thing. That kid's got some fighting dog in him. I mean, he's always ready to kind of show that he's that man and he's that one. So. I wasn't really even. You know what introduced me to Anthony Edwards as a basketball player? Because being a Laker fan and LeBron James being on the Lakers, and most people that know me know I'm not a LeBron James fan. So I kind of stopped watching as much NBA basketball as much. So I got introduced to Anthony Edwards through the movie Hustle. That was produced by Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler also stars in it. Where he's the agent. And he's going through seeking out the talent. Or he's a scout. He's a scout, not agent. He's a scout, and he's seeking out talent across through the NBA. And he goes and looking for the guy overseas. And Anthony Edwards ends up being he's like a top college prospect coming out that they feature in the movie. You know what I mean? Okay. So that's where I got introduced to Anthony Edwards at. But I mean, he's showing he's every bit of that one and that dude. So it's gonna be great. I mean, the association's doing well right now. And what's cool is that if you look at the teams that are left in there, you got the Pacers that are in the finals. You got the Thunder or the Nuggets that are going to potentially be in the finals. Those are teams that are what are considered small market teams.
Yeah, in the NBA. Generally not there. I mean, the Nuggets did win a championship.
Yeah, they did, but in years past, us growing up, think about it, we didn't really have those small market teams. Really had no chance to win. And you think a couple years ago, Toronto won the championship. Right. Milwaukee Bucks won the championship. So the NBA's kind of turned the corner where now they got that parity that's involved now within the league. That makes things a little bit more exciting to watch for, especially the casual fan that's not a heavy basketball head.
No, you're absolutely correct on that.
All right, so that's all I got with the association there. We'll move along and see by the time we get to next week, we'll know who's going to be in the Western and Eastern Conference Finals.
So the next thing I just want to touch on this, anybody that watches horse racing at all, you got the Preakness this weekend. Unfortunately, there are only 9 horses running in this thing. It is a terrible field.
That's going to be a bad race.
So, Journalism is the favorite. The horse who finished runner-up at the Derby. He's going off at 8-5 right now. So,
Journalism.
Journalism.
Yeah, okay. All right. Well, there's the Preakness, baby.
Yep, there are 9 horses. I mean, that's why even run the damn thing.
I mean, it's history and all the other shit and everything else that goes on. But especially when it loses so much excitement when there's no chance of a Triple Crown winner.
It does. It does.
So when you don't have the Derby horse in the race, I mean, it's
but 9 horses is like going to the local track.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, it's like I feel like you can, I can play that on my little. Remember that magnetic board that had a little horse race? That's what it kind of feels like.
All right, got anything else, bro?
Oh yeah, we got the biggest league on earth. It's amazing how the NFL always finds a way to keep themselves in relevancy, and especially with the most minute things. I mean, you had the NFL draft where they had 600. I mean, was it 300,000, 400,000 people collectively? For the whole weekend. For the whole weekend,
I thought it was like 600,000.
Yeah, it might have been 600,000 for the whole weekend of the draft. 200,000 the first, 200,000 plus the first night. The ratings, they did 13 million, which outdoes the NBA finals, the NHL finals probably combined.
It smokes.
Just smokes them. And the NFL is king. They always will be until something probably catastrophic in that league happens, which heaven forbid it doesn't, because we're big fans of that league.
Yeah, we love the NFL.
So the schedule release was the big thing. If you ever want to go in and get on your socials and look up the schedule release videos, it kind of shows the social media teams how they release who the teams are playing. So I was going to cover a couple of games that kind of start off the season and kind of give us a rundown of some of the major matchups to get us going here.
All right, let's hear them.
So we got the Thursday night to kick off the season. We got the Cowboys at the Eagles on the banner night. The NFL decided to make the Cowboys versus the Eagles, which pissed a lot of people off because the Cowboys haven't won shit in several years. And they're like, why do they deserve to be there? But again, it's the Cowboys.
It's because they're the Cowboys.
It's the Cowboys, and it's a love or hate relationship. And people love to hate watch or they love to love watch, either one of the two. So and against the Eagles, it's an interdivision rival. So usually they don't like to have those games to start off the season.
It's kind of spit in the face of the Cowboys too. They're like, hey, come on, watch us hang our banner.
Oh yeah, I mean, and what would be beautiful is to see if the Cowboys can break up that party. They spoil that party and start the season off right. Plus, also too, it gives them a little bit of advantage because they almost got a mini bye week by playing that Thursday because you get a couple days off and they don't have to play again until the following Sunday. All right, so then next up you got that Friday game. It's in Brazil, so they've been doing that Friday game to kind of follow up the season and get it going. And so you got the Chiefs and the Chargers playing in the Brazil down in Sao Paulo, Brazil. If they start off the season there, so that's another interdivision rival to start the game out there. So
the Chargers are actually giving up a home game on this one.
Yeah.
And I was seeing some on X, seeing some people bitch about that. Why? Because the Chargers still got to go to Kansas City and travel there, and not only are they facing the Chiefs on a neutral field, there's a damn good chance they're going to lose on that neutral field.
Could be, but I don't know, man. Chargers are going to be tough this year.
I mean, it's going to be really
Chargers are going to be tough this year. They made some pretty good moves. I mean, from getting Omari and Hampton at running back, also brought in Najee Harris. Who was a receiver that they brought in? They drafted a receiver too that was pretty good. I can't remember that off the top of my head, but I think the Chargers got a chance, maybe, especially with Jim Harbaugh. I'm never going to go against Jim Harbaugh. He has won at every level he's coached at, from playing like when he's started coaching at San Diego, and it was at San Diego State, and then it was then he went to Stanford and won at Stanford.
One with Stanford.
Yep. Then he went to the NFL, won with the Niners, and went back to college and to Michigan. And Harbaugh is just a winner. He's just a winning football coach. That whole family is just a football family. So. The Chargers are going to be a problem for the Chiefs from here on, as long as Justin Herbert is healthy and up and on two legs. The next up, so the Sunday matchups during the day that I kind of put up note, you got the Steelers versus the Jets. The Steelers versus Jets.
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields are going back, right. But also potentially if Aaron Rodgers is being a quarterback, and
that would be hilarious.
Aaron Rodgers, I should say, it could be a revenge game on both sides from the quarterback standpoint there. Then we got the Lions and Packers kicking off the season for another interdivision rival game.
Busting them out.
They're trying to pound it, man. I'm telling you, they're trying to make. They look like they really made a concerted effort to make key crucial matchups here. Pretty much for the whole season. And then Sunday night game is a rematch for the playoffs. Ravens versus the Bills. Ravens versus the Bills in the playoff rematch there. And then on a Monday night, you got the Vikings versus the Bears. Monday night Vikings versus Bears. So we're going to have a hell of a week one, brother.
Oh, that's a great
that's going to be a hell of a week one.
And that's only half the matchups.
Oh, yeah, that's only a few of the matchups. I only cut those were just the matchups I put up note.
That is going to be a hell of a week one. Yeah,
that's going to be a hell of a week one. And so then we got Thanksgiving. We got the Chiefs versus the Cowboys, Packers versus the Lions, and Bengals versus the Ravens. So that's going to be one hell of a Thanksgiving day. That's going to be one hell of a Thanksgiving day. And then the Black Friday game, it'll be interesting to see how the Bears look going into this season. They got a revamped offensive line. How Caleb Williams have grown, and they're going to be playing the Eagles for the Black Friday game.
Okay.
So that's going to be a good test to see by that point, we'll kind of know what both teams look like, because the Eagles have a lot of turnover this year. So it's not going to be any guarantee that they're going to be back right in the action to how they were from the year before. They're a good organization, but sometimes that Super Bowl hangover is from a winning and losing team is a real thing. All right, so then we got Christmas Day. So the NFL has pretty much snatched Christmas away from the NBA, and you got the Cowboys playing the Commanders. Cowboys playing the Commanders on Christmas Day. You got the Lions versus the Vikings, and the Broncos versus the Chiefs. And for the primetime game on Christmas Day. So we're going to have
that Cowboys Commanders one looks like a potential get my money back from Dave.
Yeah, it's going to be one hell of a Christmas Day. So, besides that, those are only games I kind of touched on because we don't know where the team's going to be at to know what's going to be a marquee game past that.
You got injuries that are going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
That can change a whole dynamic of a season. We know it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, the NFL always does, the NFL does, and they pretty much ratings kings.
Oh, they are.
Because it was so wild, it's like that Chiefs-Chargers game, that's a solely YouTube TV game right there. But you could also I think so. They said it's a YouTube TV game, but I think you could also be able to watch that just strictly on YouTube.
Really?
So the numbers that game could potentially do will be insane. Okay. Like where you can just literally just click on YouTube, like you click on it, like click on us to watch us each week and watch the game.
Yeah, because I don't know that I'd get YouTube TV for just one game.
Oh yeah, you know what? I'm this close right now to cutting the cord and being done with my cable service. And
I did that years ago.
I didn't because I always got hesitant about worried about the live sports, but I've got enough reviews now to know that the live sports are just fine without them. And
I got a buddy that owns a bar.
Yeah, that's right. That shit is costly. But you know what? It provides a service.
I believe it.
It provides a service.
Did they raise prices again this year?
You know what? I don't even know yet. No, that's a conversation I hate to have with my wife every year when it comes down to it because she gets so pissed every time. And I say, baby, we will get it back. We will get it back.
It's coming back.
Tenfolds, we will get it back because that's our Sunday. That's how we built our Sunday draw.
Right.
All right, so Director Dave, you got anything for us in the MotoGP world?
They off again this week? They're off this week.
No, thank goodness. All right, so that's pretty much all I got for this week. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, add to the comment section. Also, scan this QR code here. Chime in and tell me if you can tell me what that QR code says in our comment section. You might get you out of the way here. Scan this QR code here, add to the comment section. You can tell me what that says on this QR code, the message on this QR code, and we might see if we can work on getting you some BetsAndBuds free merch there. Some of you all that already know what it is, no cheating, I know who you are, so I'll make sure I track that down. But actually, if you know what that says on my QR code here, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, add in the comment section what the message is on my t-shirt here. All right, thanks again for chiming in, everybody. Happy birthday, Bobby Light. We'll see you guys next week. Peace.